Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
Could you sound any more depressed?
Yes.
I can.
Ugh.
You want me to?
No, I don't. I want you to fucking be excited to be here.
But he's here.
Okay.
I'm your host, Justin.
And I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'll take it.
Was that excited?
I knew that was coming.
This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
Fuck beans.
This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
Our show may not be suitable for young children, but neither is our D&D games.
God, I swear to God, you should be driving a black van.
Justin's being a real penis today.
6
What's
inches.
new?
Oh, God. Thanks for joining us today here at Crit Academy Studios, where everything's made up and your roles don't matter.
That's right, your rules are like a world without any monstrous races.
We got a really great show for you guys today, but like every episode, we like to start off on a high note, and we do that by giving away fat loot.
La 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 la.
La. Brandon.
Huh?
Brandon.
What?
Brandon.
What?
Who's our winner today?
Our winner today is Miss Herb 21.
Congratulations, Miss Herb21. If you enjoy the adventure, please leave Goblinstone a review.
Make sure it's 4-star. If it's anything less than that, they'll send a hit out for you.
I got a 4-star. I got a 3-star. I got a rock.
I got a rock.
We have a really great show for you guys today. Our main topic today is Monstrous races, which I'm super excited for. And of course, we close out with our final segment, our Unearthed tips and tricks, where we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs. Moving on to our main topic today, I'm really excited today. So we're going to be discussing Monstrous Races by Tyler Kamstra. This is one of only 12 adamantine level bestsellers on the DMs Guild.
It means a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind, there are hundreds of thousands of pieces of content on the DMs Guild, and this is one of 12 at the highest tier. That says a lot about the quality of the content. So what we're going to do is, when right here, guys, when we get down to here, when I say what's in this document, we're going to alternate, right? We'll start with me, and then Ian, and then Brandon, and then we'll just keep rotating as we talk about all the cool stuff in it, okay?
And Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red Johnny Ray.
So if you're interested, we have a link in our show notes for the book. It's got an affiliate link, so we get a small kickback if you do purchase it through either our website or through our link, so please do.
You're going out a turn. What do you mean? First it's you, then me, then Simmons, then me, then you, then me, then me again, and then Simmons again, then me, then Simmons, then you. Doesn't that mean you get more? Shut up.
That is blue.
So whether you're playing an all-monster party or you just want to play a monstrous race in an otherwise normal party, this document presents rules for playing every creature in the monster manual.
The first one.
Yes.
Yep.
Is there more than one?
Balls Guide and
Yeah, but they're not called monster manuals, right?
Well, I'm just saying there's other material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It includes new feats and backgrounds for monstrous characters, analysis of officially published races, highly detailed rules for building your own races, new rules for tiny races, and rules and templates for player characters.
So 5K?
What?
5K.
I don't get it.
Tiny races.
Oh my God, that took me way too long to get. I got it.
Oh, that gets to be a 100-yard dash.
So this is a massive undertaking that Tyler has done, starting with 228 playable races, no exceptions out of the monster manual, which is awesome.
And on a side note, quite a few of those races had to get huge overhauls.
Oh yeah.
In order to do this. Although for someone's like, I got good news and I got bad news.
Yep. You got the second bullet point, buddy.
116 sub-races.
13 templates for player characters, including new rules for lycanthropes and vampires.
Design notes to
Keep it going, asshole.
I tried. Design notes discussing how everything Design notes discussing how everything in the document was built and suggestions for changing everything to fit your game.
Rules for tiny, large, huge, and gargantuan player races.
New feats.
Scaly, pointy, furry.
New backgrounds.
Analysis of all the official published races with suggestions for ways to alter them.
Brandon.
That was you. Extensive race builder rules for building your own races, including 2 new race designs from the ground up to show you how it works. Monger folk and animated tomes.
Tomes.
I said tomes.
You said tomb. Did you say?
Tomes.
Tome.
And
Tome.
template builder rules for building your own templates for player characters. Now,
I wonder if we can use that race builder to build Dullahan.
Headshot.
this book is big.
Yeah.
It is 300 pages.
Lots of material.
And I mean, it would have to be for all those characters. Now, obviously, we can't possibly go through and talk about every single race. But what we have done is each picked a few of our favorites and are going to work our way through those. And actually, once again, first of all, what are your guys' overall thoughts of this product before we even get into our character races?
It definitely adds a lot more options to the players and the GM, and that's always a good thing in my book. And obviously a lot of thought went into this product as well too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was a lot of work. What about you, Brandon?
I think this is a book that has been needed for a very long time because almost everyone I know has at one point wanted to play as a monster.
Yeah, you're very, very right on that.
I want to play
The
as a
closest they
dragon.
came to was goblins and kobolds.
I want to play as a dragon. You can't play as a dragon, but the game's called Dungeons and Dragons. You fight the dragons. I don't want to fight the dragon. I want to be the dragon.
I want to be friends with the dragons.
Can I be a dragon that fights a dragon?
What?
No.
Oh, jeez. There's a lot of tweaking, and Ian kind of touched on it earlier, that needed to be done for this to be balanced for players to use in-game. So when you go into this, you have to keep that in mind that they're nowhere near as potent or as powerful as the Monster Manual.
Like there's a few creatures in there, such as like centaurs or the giants, that were large size or bigger, but they downsized them all to medium, for example.
Yep, to keep it within the realm of the player races.
To not be broken.
And they've also added special features such for like tiny creatures and rules and stipulations for dealing with how they wield weapons and stuff like that. And it gives you all those really big details. And we'll get into more of those as we go because they're farther in the back of the book. And we really want to get right to the nitty gritty at this point. So first on our list is a monster chosen by Ian. Ian, what monster did you choose and why?
I chose the Flame Skull. And why did I pick it? Because the idea of being a floating skull was a fun idea.
I immediately think of Doom.
See, when I see Flame Skull, even though I know what it is as a creature,
Yep.
just a floating skull with fire around it, I
Yep.
always think Ghost Rider for some reason.
What's that one? What's his face from Planescape?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
So are you going to want to take the lead on your character descriptions through this, or
I'm looking at Planescape.
so is that a no?
Morte.
Okay, Morty.
Morte.
So do you want to tell us more about the special traits and features of the Flame Skull player
Alright.
race?
Yep. First off, for obvious reasons, because you're a flaming skull, you're undead. So no food, no air, no nothing. Ability score. You get +1 to Dex and Intelligence, and they're usually kind of evil and dabbling in dark magic, because, I mean, you're a floating flaming skull, and your size is tiny, your speed's 0, because, well, you're a freaking skull. But you do resistance to cold and fire damage, and you can fly 40 feet and hover.
That's pretty useful. Also,
And you actually shed light in those 10-foot radius, because you're a flaming skull!
try being a Flaming Skull rogue. I got a floating torch. I'm trying to be stealthy. You fucking glow.
And they're also immune to being prone and paralyzed. Go figure!
It's a great way to hide.
But they also can't wear armor, and they can't wield any items or weapons because they have no freaking hands.
So you're starting to see some of the the restrictions, right?
Yep.
As a rogue, you blow out a brazier and then you sit in it. And people just think that that's what you are.
Just think you're just a flaming skull brazier.
Oh, and they also know Firebolt and Mage Hand.
What is that called? That's the recalled magic, right?
Yep, recalled magic. And I'll admit, but another reason why I loved this was because I came up with the concept in my head which fell apart because there's no Dualhans in here. One player plays a flame skull, one player plays a Dualhan, so you basically act as his head. And then a third player plays as a nightmare.
Very cool.
You combine and form Voltron.
Oh my god.
I'm a Death Knight! Bluff.
Bluff.
I'm bluffing. And needless to say, though, this race tends to lean a little bit towards the magic casting for really obvious reasons.
Yeah, well, you missed this ability here, too, this rejuvenation.
Yeah, that too.
Upon falling to 0 hit points, you immediately stabilize. While unconscious, if you take any damage which is sufficient to kill you, you suffer a death saving throw.
Insufficient to kill you.
Insufficient to kill you. Thank you. If you take damage in which is insufficient to kill you, you suffer a death saving throw. Failure as normal, but you remain stabilized for 1 hour. After 1 hour being unconscious, you stabilize and regain 1 hit point.
No organ suckers.
Yeah, you come back to life. That is dope. Like, how awesome is that? As long as they don't continue to stab you in the skull and break some shit. It also says that you can read, write, and speak common. So.
Oh yeah, the other idea of a flame skull was I read Justin Files and I like Bob.
What?
In the Justin Files book series, there's a character named Bob. He's a skull.
Brandon, can you tell us about playing a flame skull?
I can.
Page 81.
81?
Yep.
God.
If only it was in the notes.
Yeah, mine's on page freaking 203.
Actually,
Is that
Savret.
right?
Savret, air elemental's an option.
It said 81.
Air elemental is an option.
Yeah.
If it's in the monster manual, it's in this book.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Playing the Flame Skull. Flame Skulls are natural wizards.
Yep.
You're a wizard, Harry. Their ability to fly and their resistance help them to remain out. I can't read this. Their ability to fly and their resistances help them to remain out of harm's way, but they lack natural armor. Without the ability to wear armor, their AC can be problematic. Flame Skulls are often bound to obey evil masters, which provides an easy way to work them into a party.
I'm the necromancer. Ian, do you want to be my flaming skull companion?
Fine.
Alternatively, Flame Skulls, which are no longer able to fulfill their given orders, become independent and are free to pursue whatever goals they choose. Since Flame Skulls have vague recollections of their previous life, consider who your character was before their death and use it to inform your character's personality.
Shoot, the fact that you're probably brought to life and used as a servant can probably lead to some RP elements as well. And yes, Tater, he is a bonehead.
You can just imagine Flame Skull just sitting there and his master dies and goes, "I'm free!" And just looks around. What do I do with myself?
Go sit in a brazier?
Yeah, apparently.
Just watch. So this is a really interesting one you chose, Ian. I like the fact that it's just a floating head.
Yeah.
The fact that you can't wield weapons and armor and stuff means it does limit your class options, but that's the whole flavor of the character anyway.
Yep.
They recommend wizard here, but honestly,
I wonder why.
I would probably take sorcerer over wizard. Even
a spellcaster of some kind.
yeah, even though you get the intelligence bonus, I would probably do a sorcerer instead, just for the twinning effects. Otherwise, you'll get steamrolled by multiple enemies. But I think this is really cool. I love the idea of you just being a floating head, and maybe, there's so much immunity to this thing. It's immune to paralyze. It's immune to petrify. It's immune to prone condition. It's immune to poison.
Gotta stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, I like what Sever
Really?
says.
Ahead of the
game. I like what Sever's saying is that there's lots of RP options.
Oh, yeah.
There
Oh,
really
yeah, for
is.
sure.
Because
Yeah.
you're in a world where you are something that is insanely uncommon to see, and people are going to look at you with extreme prejudice.
A floating head. Excuse me, miss. Have you seen your... Ah!
Like, he goes to a pub to get a drink, and they just start batting at him. They kick him out. It's like, well, this sucks. This is bullshit.
Happens to Drow.
I got gold. Why can't I use it?
Where do I keep it?
The
A person inside my head.
I mean, for that matter, too, though, like,
just-
because you can't wear armor of any kind.
He keeps his coin pouch inside of his skull, so he just spits out gold coins.
How'd you do that? Give me a bag of holding my head.
That's funny.
Actually,
you shove a spear up into his mouth and it disappears. Where'd it go? I don't know.
connect the bag of holding to his mouth.
I mean, he hovers, so I don't know how weight limits work for that, I
How
suppose.
awesome would that be? You're sitting there and you're guzzling down drink after drink, and then you take it to another place and you bottle it for yourself and resell it.
Oh, I got an idea. What, if you're a flame skull,
Yeah.
you're small enough to fit in somebody's pack. You
Yep.
could move your movement to pop out, blast somebody, then hide back in their pack for nearly full cover.
Taylor thinks this guy needs to fight Dennis.
That's funny.
Wasn't he a skull fornicator?
Yes.
Yes.
something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, perfect match.
The orc.
Lover
Name's
of
Dennis.
skulls.
Yeah, lover of skull. Wait, did he just say his name is Skullfucker?
They get done with their event, and he's like, "Man, it burns."
That's right. Get both eyes.
Oh,
What, you talk?
All right, guys. So the next monster we have is the Intellect Devourer. These little bastards are my favorite. If you don't know what Intellect Devourer is, they're basically a walking brain, like a brain with like clawed paws and shit, and they climb inside and take over your players, which is dope. So, here are the following racial traits. Your creature type is Aberration. You get a Dex increase of +1. Your alignment, pets created by Mind Flayers they are pets created by Mind Flayers to serve their tyrannical masters. Most Intellect Devourers are lawful evil. The size is tiny. That's another tiny one, right?
Yeah.
Your base speed is 35. These little buggers are fast.
jeez.
They have blind sense since they have no eyes and are they have no eyes and are blind, and therefore immune to the blind condition. You have blind sight up to 30 feet. That is incredibly useful.
Yeah, well, Flame Skull flies.
You are the big ability you get is Body Thief. If you would reduce a humanoid creature to 0 hit points with the Devour Intellect, you may attempt to seize control of the creature's body as a bonus action. Initiate an intelligence contest with the target. If you win the contest, instead of dealing the psychic damage normally dealt by Devour Intellect, you magically consume the target's brain, teleport into the target's skull, and take control of the target's body. While inside the creature, you have total cover against attacks and other effects originating outside of the host. You retain your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores, as well as an understanding of deep speech, your telepathy, and your traits. You otherwise adopt the target's statistics. Man, there's a lot with this. You may remain inside the host for a number of rounds equal to the creature's intelligence score. During this time, you may access the creature's mind and memories. Each round, you may do one of the following. Cast one of the creature's spells using the appropriate casting time for that spell. Speak in a language that the creature speaks as a free action. Recall one specific memory or a piece of information in which the creature knows as a bonus action. After you use this ability, you can't use it again until you complete a short or long rest. Claws. Your unarmed strikes deal 1d8 slashing damage on hit. You can use a dexterity instead of strength for the attack and damage rolls of your unarmed strikes. Your unarmed strikes count as a weapon with the finesse property. That's important. For all the effects which require it, such as sneak attack. Next up, you have Devour Intellect. As an action, you can target one creature that you can see within 10 feet of you and which has a brain. The target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or take 1d6 psychic damage. The DC for the save is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence mod. The damage increases by 1d6 increases as you hit higher levels. Look, Ma, no hands. You are unable to wield weapons or wear shields and cannot use items which require manipulation, which includes spellcasting, foci, wands, and tools, etc. Telepathy, you can communicate telepathically with any creature within that knows a language within 30 feet, and you understand and read Undercommon. Whew, that's a lot.
What the hell is Undercommon?
It's the language of everyone in not Underworld,
The
Undermountain.
Underdark?
Underdark, that's the one.
Yep.
I keep on saying Undermountain, but it's not Undermountain. That's a specific location.
As we were reading like the eat brain ability and they have the body, I kept on thinking like, all right, barbarian, come here. Wow, there's lots of room in here.
So before we get too much into playing an intellect devour, what do you guys think about this?
Night of the Body Snatchers.
Pretty much. I think it's interesting. The more intelligence the creature has, it appears that you can maintain control of their body longer. But there's still a very short limit on how long you can hold control of them.
Yep.
But I mean, an intelligence of 10 means a minute, right? But for a minute, you're like a druid. You take on the complete different form of another creature and all of its properties.
Yep.
But what I think is really interesting is the fact you acquire its knowledge. Because that's half the battle when sneaking into bases and stuff is trying to figure out where everything's at. If you take over a patrol who knows all the routes, you instantly know exactly how to get where you're going.
Yep.
What do you think, Brandon?
I think it can perform a chain if you're fast enough. How long is one round?
6 seconds.
6 seconds generally. So you can kill somebody in less than a minute in combat, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you just
body hopping?
you just keep doing that. Just keep body hopping through a fortress.
What I think is cool about it is they can throw off confusion and allow you to break into locations that otherwise you would obviously stand out as a adventurer, right?
Yep.
If an adventurer breaks into a Gnoll's fortress, they're probably going to be the only person that's not a Gnoll or Goblinoid of sorts. But if you're this body snatcher and you're jumping from Gnoll to Gnoll to Goblin, you'd be like, yeah, I think you went that way. And everyone just chase it and you go the other way to the boss room.
Am I the only one now thinking about that one episode of Rick and Morty?
I haven't seen Rick and Morty.
You're talking about the one where Rick keeps jumping from brick to Rick?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
What kind of classes do you guys think would be good with this?
Rogue.
Rogue.
Yeah, that's literally, so.
That's just
Or Bard.
straightforward.
Yeah, they say playing an intellect devour is a complicated creature. It's nimble and fast, which makes it a great monk or rogue. Its blind sight allows you to easily locate hidden and invisible enemies, but the short range means that the intellect devourer is often blind to nearby foes. The devourer intellect and body thief allow the intellect devourer to subdue foes with psychic damage, then seize control of the body of its humanoid. While controlling the humanoid in this way, the intellect devourer can use many of the creature's abilities, including its spellcasting.
I'm now picturing an argument between a flame skull and an intellect devourer.
You know, I think it'd be a perfect event for one of these things.
What's that?
If they were a rogue assassin and they got a contract saying, if you can assassinate the king and make it look like an accident, we'll give you a bunch of gold. And while he's sleeping, you stab the shit out of him, right? Or you kill him somehow. You take his brain and you jump out the window.
I haven't started recording the audio.
Oh, fuck me! That's okay, we'll just go back and... Wait, where are we on Twitch or YouTube?
I hope we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
I'll just download the episode later and pull the audio.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope YouTube doesn't lose our audio.
Right.
You know what's sad? That's not the first time that's happened. It usually
It's not.
It happens right after a patron pals, because I have to
Forget
export the recording that I took.
Click it. But, it happens.
Yeah, I'm annoyed.
But
now, though. How is the audio quality coming through for you guys?
well, they were commenting on us, so...
Yes, your YouTube this week. Sorry, Tate, we didn't mean to. Well, he didn't mean to.
I really think this is a fantastic class. I think that in not only being a rogue or a monk, but I also think it would be a very cool
Excuse me.
a potential wizard, because you could use a lot of the magical features to make you faster, like expeditious retreat, or mirror image, or things like that that would allow you to gain an advantage on the foes you're attacking. Misty step, getting right next to somebody and taking them over as quickly as you can. Definitely being a rogue though, you can get more damage in quickly as well. So I can totally see me like once again hiding inside a pack and then waiting as it's about to go down, jump out and claw it or something, knocking it unconscious and then stealing its body. That sounds so awesome. I think I have an idea, you guys.
Shut up, you flaming skull, or I'll eat your brain. Ha! Joke's on you, you skull effer. I have no brain.
Skull effort.
So you're an airhead. Shut up!
All right, what's the monster you wanted to discuss, Brandon?
I wanted to discuss the Wraith.
Why is it you pick the Wraith?
Well,
what can you tell us about it?
I'm a big fan of the undead. I like ghosts. I like the creepy encounters. I just think they're fun that way. I was looking for Spectre, but he's not in there.
Really?
He should be.
I did not see him.
It's probably under the template.
Oh, maybe. Do you want to do that instead?
If it's on there, yeah.
It's not popping up. Stop it.
You just gotta. It's not ordered super great.
Yeah, there's a few jumps here and there.
192. It's funny when you hit Control F and type Inspector, it goes right to it.
Well, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, we'll go with freaking Spectre.
It's almost like table of contents actually have a value.
Yeah, you know what?
So Brandon,
It's alphabetical.
Brandon, what class? What race did you pick?
I have chosen the Spectre, who is not on page 192.
185 should be.
It's on 192.
192.
Page 192. I see the treant. Excuse me.
Look at the page 192, not your scroll.
That's 192 at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the page. Bottom of the page, it says 192.
Yeah, it does say treant.
Uh-oh.
What?
Wait, I think we just found a flaw in the book.
No, it's not, because yours is only 283 pages.
That's
Same here.
not right.
Mine's 300. There's two different versions.
Okay.
One version is the compact, which has no art and stuff, and I think that's the one you got.
Got it.
But that doesn't change the fact that should be a Spectre in here. But since I don't have a Control F function...
It's on one page 184 then.
Huh?
185 then.
Did you find it?
Yeah. Because they're alphabetical.
Yeah.
What's the fucking...
There it is. Yeah, so there's two
that's
different ones. You guys got the book that's the compact without any art in it.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the Spectre, Brandon.
The Spectre. Spirits of mortals denied the release of the afterlife. Spectres are trapped in the material plane, where the rage and sorrow drive them to murder the living.
I bet you're undead.
Most likely.
It seems to be a theme
I'm starting
today.
to, yeah.
Yeah, thing going on. The Spectre's traits, let's see. The Spectre shares the following racial traits. Creature type, which is undead.
Duh.
You don't require air, food, drink, or sleep. Instead, you are entered a restful state, remaining semi-conscious for 4 hours a day. While resting, you can dream after a fashion. Such dreams are reflexive mental exercises inherent to your consciousness. After resting this way, you gain the same benefit that human does from 8 hours of sleep. I'm pretty sure that's what all undead have there. See, ability score increases is +1 to the dexterity. Your alignment is evil.
Man,
Just
it's almost
just
like
evil.
most of the monsters are evil.
No, really?
Not all of them. though.
Murderous spirits. Most specters are chaotic evil, and that's the best kind of evil. Your size is medium. Your speed, your base walking speed is 30 feet. You get dark vision,
Which is good.
and so you can see within 60 feet. And in the darkness, as if it were just dim light. You can't discern color in darkness, only shades of gray.
Like
Brandon.
so more than 50?
I actually imagine that there's people who believe, well, what does that matter? And it's like, well, if a rogue is wearing a bright red cloak, but it still appears gray, and they're against a wall.
Do you know why it's important? Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns.
Did I watch porn? What?
Blue flower, red thorns.
Blue flower, red thorns. This would be so much better if I wasn't colorblind. Deathly resistance. You have resistance to necrotic damage. You are immune to poison condition and to poison damage, which is always fun. You get flight, so you have the flying speed of 30 feet. To use this speed, you can't, of course, be wearing medium or heavy armor. You get life drain.
Let you wear light armor, though.
You can wear light armor.
As a spectral, I just always thought you'd be incorporeal.
They probably...
That's the way I've always seen them, too.
They probably just had to balance it that way.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like, I am made of ectoplasm. I cannot wear any armor.
they probably mentioned in the design notes.
Is there a monster you guys would like this? Is there a monster you guys would like us to, our patrons would like us to go through as well? I left time for that, so go ahead.
Yep. You get the life drain. As an action, you may make a melee spell attack. This attack deals 1d8 necrotic damage. This damage increases to 2d8 at 5th level, 3 at 11, and 4 at 17. And charisma is your spellcasting ability for this attack.
Sunlight sensitivity, that sucks.
Oh, that's lame. I thought the life drain ability gave you HP.
For obvious reasons, it can't heal you.
I guess it had to be. Yeah. They do have sunlight sensitivity, which does kind of blow. And for those who don't know, it sucks. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight when you, the target of your attack, or whatever you are trying to perceive is in direct sunlight. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight when you, the target of your attack, at whatever you are trying to perceive is in direct sunlight. Why'd they put that in there twice?
I don't know.
I don't know. But that does suck, because you just gotta remain out at night. That's it. Yep.
Well, it doesn't say mount at night. You're just punished if you aren't.
Yeah.
And then you
and
get
of
languages.
course the languages is you
Common.
can understand, read, and write in common and one other language of your choice.
So this is really cool. What kind of classes do you think would work best with this?
Rogue.
Wizards. I think he'd be a good magic user.
You think so?
He gets ability score to his dex, so
That fits with like a rogue or a monk.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
What I think is interesting is that there's no real like.
Man, I just thought about some really morbid ways to roleplay of Spectre.
How so?
Something. Stuff you probably shouldn't really joke about is what came to mind, but. Like, okay, the example I'm going to use is. Do either one of you watch Supernatural?
Yes, I've seen up to season 6.
Do you remember that episode when they. With the wishing coin where it twisted ways of wishes?
Yep.
Remember the teddy bear?
Yeah, the little girl wished for a teddy bear and got a suicidal one.
And it couldn't die because of the stuffed animal.
Blow it all with stuffing.
When it shot a shotgun in its mouth, yeah.
Just made it pulls the trigger, makes that squeak sound.
You're a Spectre? Yeah, I tried to kill myself, but I came back as a Spectre. I'm still stuck here. Why can't I die? That's what I mean by see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. So according to they say as playing a specter, specters are murderous, evil creatures that only go out at night, and their ability to fly and their increased dexterity makes them excellent rogues, allowing for them to surprise and kill unwary victims. Specters have no ties to their former lives except for known languages, which is interesting. Their motivations are almost always exclusively violent. Imagine that. So it's difficult to compel them to join a party. Still, they might elect to join a party with a spellcaster or a wraith which originally created the specter, or with some other creature who has the ability to control undead. This goes really in tandem with what we were talking about earlier, having like a necromancer player as one, and then a specter as another. And I think that kind of goes in tandem with a lot of these different things. Is you can find a way to make them interact. Like I could, if we decided as you wanted to play as a specter, and say, okay, I'm playing a necromancer, Ian's playing a specter, and Brandon's playing an undead ghoul or something or a wraith.
Screw you, I'm playing a flame skull.
Well, okay, you're playing a flame skull. You could have a party of one spellcasting player, like normal, like wizard, and then the rest are these his little monstrous entourage, which I think would be really cool. And you could really build a really good experience around that.
Yo, that kill this guy. You're not my boss. Yes, I am. Dang it!
So I did notice we picked a couple classes that are races that are really good at Dex, but there is, did you guys have Ed or Savert? Did you guys have a monster you think we should cover?
There's a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
There is something I have been seeing in this book that I don't understand.
What?
What is BP?
So
Build points.
yeah.
Bell.
So
Build points.
I'm glad you actually
Build
actually asked that. There so in order to make these races these monsters into playable races, they had to develop some sort of building technique. And so they devised a build point system, and they try to target between 8 to 10 points, and different features give consume a certain number of points, and that was kind of the way that they balanced it going forward. And they talk a lot about that in the book. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but they did a pretty good job. Like Ian said earlier, there was extensive changes that needed to be done. But in any case, you get to play these, and you do get some of the iconic powers that those monsters, have.
Usually.
This is kind of
Yes.
like on par, like in Call of Duty, how you get so many points of spending when you're creating a class. You're like, okay,
Yes.
I really want this gun, but if I get this gun, I can't carry 3 grenades.
Very, very much so. That's a really good example.
Okay.
For instance, if you get the Mind Flayer,
Jay does not have a monster that we wants just for us to talk about. That's strange.
I don't know why it's not.
Yeah, the fine features being weird earlier.
There it is. It's because it's 2 different words, and I'm an idiot. For instance, with the Mind Flayer, you get, their Mind Blast technique, but you also can, devour their brain with Extract Brain. But it's got all the rules and stuff for that. So you can play these different, classical races or these classical monsters to really get that feel, and they did a really good job of kind of capturing that.
Thanks to that comment, now picture man player playing a harpsichord.
What?
Classical music.
Oh. I think, like I said, there is so much content in this book. Tyler did a phenomenal job going through and just building up the greatness of these monsters. He went beyond that. There's some monsters that he gives much less detail on.
But in many cases, they already exist as playable races. So.
Right. And so he gives they give variants on those, which I think is interesting. We're not going to go into too much detail on those.
Hey, do they have a version of the orc that has orcish resilience?
Let's find out.
I want to have a single creature within this book that is not evil or neutral.
There's a lot of creatures that aren't evil. So a lot of them can be neutral
Oh, that's
too.
right. There's the angel in there, isn't it?
It's like the first entry.
Yep.
Okay, that's a crow shot, but still.
I don't see orcish resilience, but they give
That's one thing that was not about. Oh my, okay, so do the half breeds have orcish resilience, but the full blooded orcs do not?
Right.
What is this crap?
So they go into a lot of detail on the build point system. So you can convert your own monsters if you want. If you've got monsters that you've created homebrew or that you have for from old supplements, it gives you really good techniques for building those and the limitations that come with them. Whether it's this creature has no arms, so you get a bonus for that, or this creature has no flying, so all those things kind of go in tandem and give you. I mean, there's a lot of detail in this, from the range of blind sight. The higher it is, the more BP it costs. So they did. It's quite an interesting
So you can make
calculation.
So you can make your own, I don't know, Dullahan for example.
If you wanted, you certainly could. And they break down all the features and all the different abilities like flyby and grab and grappler and magic resistance, and they all have this point system, so you can build whatever race you want and still keep it within balance, which I think which is really cool. And they do go on to talk about their own custom races, like the mongrel folk, which is pretty cool. But you know,
But wait, there's more.
yeah. Uh, They also have a template builder, so creating a template using rules presented in this document is similar in many ways to creating new races. So basically, you create a template for a certain type of monster, like, okay, I'm going to use all these abilities for undead characters, right? And you can set up the points, set up the template in advance, saying, okay, all of the undead are going to have these same 3 features, so this is how many points I have to change everything else. I'm not gonna. There's a lot of numbers here. If you're a number cruncher, this is your dream because there's lots of numbers here.
Numbers? That's work.
That's work.
I don't want more of this math stuff.
Trying to find the feet section. Anybody know where it's at?
In your shoes.
Usually in your
Character
shoes.
options, fuckers.
I
I hate you guys.
Have you looked in your socks?
So in addition to all the monsters that you have action to, they actually have some feats. For example, one that jumped out at me was Mighty Breath. Your breath weapon has exceptionally fearsome. The prerequisite is that your racial is you have a breath weapon, so obviously dragons, or you can even give this to Dragonborn, I suppose, if you wanted. It says you increase the die size of the damage dealt by your breath weapon, which, by the way, Dragonborn needs it.
Yeah. They really nerfed the breath weapon.
Yeah, it really needed it. If the breath weapon deals multiple damage dice, 2d6, 3d8, they all increase in size, which is fantastic. And you may use your breath weapon twice before requiring a short or long rest.
Increase the size of your... Yeah. Increase the die size of your breath weapon. So... If you're like a red dragon, got a Taco Bell, and
That's funny.
or some Mexican.
And they come with a small collection of like a half a dozen feats or so. They also give several background examples. One of which I think was really cool was the Exile, which fits the monster theme. And honestly, this reminds me of Dritz Do'Urden from the Dritz series. If you're an exile, no longer welcome among your kind, you have abandoned your home and tried to survive. Try to survive the world on your own. Perhaps you will return home again someday. But for now, you must live among people whose ways are foreign to you. And so that really, to me, fit the Dritz Do'Urden feel. So there's several different backgrounds that you could take, too, that is really dope. And it comes with, the ideals and the additional features, like for Exile, it's cast out, and it gives you a little D8 roll, and you could pick one that says, I committed an unforgivable crime, or I angered an influential figure, or something along those lines. Or I faked my own death. That's dope. Oh, that could be a character concept. I love that.
Or if you're playing an undead character, maybe you succeeded.
That's funny. the kamikaze guys, the terrorists, like Ahmed. My wife and I just went and seen Jeff Dunham, so Ahmed the dead terrorist. Maybe you succeeded. What? That's really good. I like that. So overall, what are your guys' impressions of this book?
I like it. I kind of want to make my own characters out of this thing.
I want to run a flame skull.
So I'm thinking, and if the patrons are listening to this, I think this month's patron game, the extra credit game, I think I might let them all run monsters from this.
If you're going to do that, I want to somehow be a part of that.
Same.
Well, we got to make sure the patrons fill out, but I'll keep you guys posted. But I think it would be
Yeah,
you
cool. You can let
I
the
think
patrons fill it out. Make us be NPCs.
I think you got Sarah's attention.
Yeah, I see that. She's like, ooh. I think that I'm going to do that, and I'm going to let him be evil. And maybe I'll have him, defend a fort or something against oncoming adventurers, which I think would be fantastic. But that's something that I'm brewing in my head right now. What's he saying?
I got dibs on Dennis. Getting
Just
a
stay
new
there.
rung for each skull I get. LOL.
I think he said it's a new ring. Is it a new ring?
No.
You wrong?
Getting a
talking
new
about-
rung
he was
for
talking about-
each skull I get.
He was talking about ladders earlier.
Oh, God. The dick ladder? The fuck?
Oh, Savra wasn't there when we were talking about the Jacob's ladder.
I think she was there.
I don't think so.
She's the one that said ladder. She knew what he was talking about.
You were there?
She was
Oh.
yeah, we were being very not professional in considering her feelings.
Dick ladder.
Yes, a dick ladder.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine a Goliath with a dick ladder and the halfling using it to climb up?
You know, I would think it sucks.
Wow.
Shit.
If one day you're just wearing your jeans, right, and he's like, oh man, I'm late for work, and you just don't throw any underwear on, you just throw it up. It's like, all right, let's go. And later that night, you come back and like, oh, finally, you unzip, and then you drop it, and like your zipper catches one of those rungs on the way down.
No. Oh my God. So
Actually, when you mentioned like the players will be playing like the monsters in the dungeon, it made me think of like a comic I saw posted on the Facebook pages, which is some adventurers go through a dungeon. This goblin from off nowhere. No, don't go that way. What? Why not? Because there is a rock trap above you that will drop down and crush you while you go through there. And why should we listen to you? Because I'm the guy who tries to put the rocks back.
Oh my god. So this would make a great comic. Of course, it's a not safe for work comic. I'm sorry for this, but it's just too funny. Can you imagine that there is a man and a woman, and she's giving him head, and her tongue ring gets stuck on one of the ladders? She's in there going, "I stuck. I can't do it."
and you have to call somebody to help get it unstuck.
Just don't ask what happened.
I
Have a
think
lift forever now.
I think that'd be self-explanatory.
Oh god. And to make it even worse, it gets stuck on like the last ladder, and you're like, the whole time.
Choking on it. Oh my God.
That's a famous joke going around on TikTok.
What's that?
What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball? Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's
Are you?
funny. That's really funny. All right. Well, I absolutely love this product. The Monster Races is a wonderful tool to give you something different in your games, especially if you just want a one shot. I think being able to do a one shot as baddies could be a lot of fun. I recommend this book. Tyler Kamstra did a phenomenal job. There's a link in our show notes. Definitely pick up a copy for yourself. You won't regret it.
You know,
Or even better, oh my god, have your players run monsters with this, right?
yep.
And then they come up against heroes, these foes, and that night you kill them all. Next week you have them roll up new characters, and then you have to make them face themselves from last week.
Ooh, I like that.
It's like, so wait, we killed ourselves? Technically.
That could be interesting. I like that.
That should be impossible. Well, yeah, it should be. By my flaming skull that's floating in the air, it has no mind, so what do I know?
Hey, this is evidence of the multiverse.
All right, let's close that up. Where's my show notes? There it is. All right, well, that'll do it for our main topic today. Definitely pick up your own copy of Monstrous Races. Before we move on to our final segment, we have one more gift to give away, compliments of Loresmith. We have another gift to give away, compliments of Loresmith. Ian, who's our winner?
Our winner today is... Yeah, of course. Lost Real M Rangers.
I think it's Lost Realm.
Lost Realm Rangers.
Crashing down and it hurts inside.
I love that you give me a hard time about it, but as soon as I don't have it, you're all just doing it on your own.
Well, you were proceeding, so...
Yeah, that's true. Congratulations, Lost Realm Rangers. If you enjoyed the adventure, please let Loresmith know and leave him a review and tell him what you thought of the product. Our fourth and final segment, I don't have to say it. Moving on to our final segment, our UTT. I have a whole intro that goes in there now, so I don't gotta do a spew anymore. Our character concept comes from Steve H.
What the fuck?
I am planning on running a bard whose performance and spellcasting is all dad jokes. Here are some examples.
Okay, so I'm a fighter. I'm hurt.
Hi, Hurt. I'm Dad. Cure wounds.
Or you're Hanzo.
Who?
I'm sorry, Genji.
Genji. I need healing.
Here's the bard. Let's put an egg in our shoes and beat it as he casts Expeditious Retreat.
What the fuck?
Ian, how's that next one?
I'm not mad, just disappointed. Vicious mockery.
Vicious mockery. There was nothing worse than actually hearing your father say something like that. Being mad is way, way less than being disappointed.
You,
I sound like experience there, Brandon.
Yeah, it's there.
you
Ed
are,
says that's him.
you are a failure at life,
I
just like I always knew you'd be.
I just want you to know that psychic attacks are all in your head.
Is that another vicious mockery?
What the
Yeah.
fuck? A werewolf.
Werewolf is roaring. Why don't you give us a werewolf roar, Brandon? If you insist on attacking us, we're going to end up making you a werewolf. A werewolf. A werewolf.
Oh God, kill me.
A werewolf. Oh my God. Mr. Dragon, you certainly should not devour us. I mean, think about it. That paladin probably tastes just lawful. Oh my God. So this is very similar to the Punisher thing we did.
Oh, Tater, your middle name is Everclear because that's how you were conceived.
Your mama should have swallowed. Everclear.
I'm sorry, Stan, but your daddy should have been a come stand on Gram titties.
You know, son, I had to give up my hopes and dreams too. How long ago was that? How old are you?
Aw, that's
You
harsh.
know what makes that worse? That's from a cartoon.
I know.
Oh my God.
That's from Fairly Odd Parents.
What? That's like a 10-year-old show.
Timmy asks his dad that.
How old are you?
I lost my hopes and dreams too.
What happened?
How old were you? That's right. What happened? How old are you?
Or when did that happen?
Or when were you born?
What do you guys think about this character concept?
Do you want the leading cause of dry skin is? Towels.
Oh, fuck, dude.
God. Oh my God.
That's really bad. What do you guys think about this character concept?
It can be fun if you have if you have nothing prepared in advance.
Yeah, you would have to have a big
Yeah.
list prepared. Otherwise, you'd be saying the same thing all the time. I've got 13 hit points out of 39. Well, I've got the cure. Oh, that's terrible. I'm going to have to edit out that, Justin. You're an idiot.
Sure.
That'll do it for our character concept from Steve H.
Get.
Dad jokes.
And there's a cure more cowbell.
What?
And there's a cure more cowbell.
I don't get it.
I have a disease, and the cure is more cowbell.
The monster variant today is the swarm of electric eels. The origin is the swarm of poisonous snakes. New features: water breathing. You can let them. The swarm can breathe only underwater.
Go figure.
Lightning aura. At the start of each of the swarm's turns, each creature within 5 feet of it takes 1d6 lightning damage. A creature that touches the swarm or hits it with a melee attack while within 5 feet of it takes 1d6 lightning damage. Can you guess where I got this from?
Little Mermaid.
Man versus Wild.
No, I had to make it. It's a trap in our new adventure.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They're literally entire rooms full of these things. So there's no guards. It's just electric eels that are swimming around everywhere, and it's such a fun concept because really, the monsters themselves aren't like out to get the players. Like the players enter the area and start getting shocked to shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'll get a charge of it.
That's good. I'll give you that one. What do you think, Brandon?
You guys are giving me cancer.
Joke's on you. It's already given.
I think that this would just be an annoyance.
Yeah.
Then I have succeeded.
I figured that's what you're going for.
Yeah, because I needed a way. I wanted them to. So the obvious entrance when you're swimming towards a target is through the top, right?
Yep.
Well, this puts one of their quest goals is right there, but it's right also surrounded by all this. So this is meant to be a deterrent to go find another way through. At least that's the plan. We'll see. I like this. I think it's simple. It creates it encourages the players not to just attack with swords, or if they do, they'll find themselves getting a shocking experience. But it's very simple, very nice. The fact that it's it's a swarm means it can share a square with somebody, and I just love this thing just moving and chasing people and occupying the same square. It'd be a lot of fun.
Lord, I hit and it shocked me. Why yell it up? Stop hitting it! I'm so mad at it!
That'll do it for our monster variant, the Swarm of Electric Eels. Brandon, can you tell us? Ian, can you tell us about the encounter of the podcast?
The encounter is from Kilroy General, Percy's pet. In an aristocrat's house on the porch sits a hobgoblin, Percy Lassiter, in a big stuffed chair. At the foot of the stairs of the porch is a 5-foot-tall stuffed little bunny rabbit with a bell on it. At the side of the house is a stable and a fencing corral. Hunched over out of view is a hobgoblin that happens to have a stats of a hill giant named Malik. He's a wisdom experiment. If the players interact with Percy, he utters a warning to Malik. Malik stands up and tears a chunk of horse and turns to the party and starts walking towards them. Messing with the bunny enrages Malik. Play it like Con Air.
Have you guys seen Con Air?
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to erase that because I don't know what he's referencing. I was hoping one of you did.
There's a lot of spelling errors, too.
There's what?
A lot of spelling errors, too.
Yeah, well, I just copied it from an email. So this is really interesting. It was total coincidence we were talking about the big giant teddy bear. But this is kind of like that. Like that. You've got this science experiment thing, and with Easter coming up, or may have passed by, what day is Easter?
I don't know.
You go to church, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know why I know. I don't know because I don't pay attention.
Neither do I.
Oh.
April 21st.
Yeah, so with Easter coming up soon, this made sense to toss this giant stuffed killer bunny and to get into the encounter. I think it's interesting because this could be an encounter that isn't designed to be something the players engage with. They could just walk by a house with a 5-foot-tall bunny rabbit with a bell on it sitting outside on this porch, and you just mention it in passing just to see if the players are like, wait, what? A giant stuffed bunny rabbit? I'm going to go poke it with a stick.
Oh, look at that. This is the less cute than the bunny rabbit.
I think it's interesting because it's meant to be something in passing, I think. I don't think it's meant to be just something that you sit in front. It's just when you're looking for like an encounter filler. I think it's a filler.
Yep.
I think that's what it's designed for. Hey, you're walking down the road, and there's the tavern on the left, and you see the inn down straight away, and to your right is a gentleman sitting on a porch with a giant stuffed teddy bear.
It's filler, like half of Bleach.
Just half? More like 3/4. What do you guys think about the killer bunny rabbit? I mean, I'm instantly thought of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, personally. But.
Well, keep in mind, it's not the rabbit that's vicious.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it. It's the giant
Well, it's the hobgoblin.
hobgoblin with the giant stats that comes barreling out and ripping horses apart.
Yep.
Like, that's hilarious. Just like, "Rah!" What do you think?
I think it's just a mind fuck.
Why's that?
You walk by and you see this shit.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, but
Why is there a 5-foot bunny rabbit there?
And I think that's the point. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of, like,
Depth?
no, well, that too. Context to this. It was very vague, so I'm just like, that's weird. That'd make a good Easter one. So, all right, well, that'll do it for our encounter of the podcast by Kilroy General, Percy's pet. Don't go and poke at people's rabbits. Cute little bunny. Brandon, would you like to tell them about our magic item?
our magic item is called the Phoenix Rebirth. It's a potion and it's very rare. Small, heatless?
Heatless. Yep.
Small, heatless tongues of flame lick the outside of a clear container. the inside burning with orange and red liquid flames. When you drink this potion, your body is wreathed in heatless flames, taking on the form of fire. The form of fiery bird for an instant. For the next hour, the next time you are reduced to 0 hit points, you can drop to 1 hit point instead. At the start of your next turn, you regain 2d4 plus 2 hit points. Yay!
What do you guys think?
Eris from Final Fantasy VII. Hey, Cloud, where's that Phoenix
Aw.
down? I really could have used one back there.
Oh man,
I think it's a great way of knowing that if you're going to go into this adventure and you think there's a high chance that you're going to get killed, this is a great way to come back and go, nope, and you just leave.
Yeah. And what's cool is it not only does it keep you from dropping unconscious, but it also heals you a little bit. A whole healing potion's worth, actually. So depending on what level you give this to at, it'll be more or less effective. But this is actually based off a class feature in Spellbreak. In Spellbreak, the pyromancy class has the Phoenix Rebirth feature that when you die in a battle royale, usually you don't come back to life. This allows you to resurrect with half your hit points. So I was like, man, that's dope. That'd be an awesome consumable. And the fact that it's a consumable, you can give it away without fear of it unbalancing your game more than for a round.
The dungeon was dangerous. I'm probably gonna die again.
Go, 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 go. Down it down. Any other notes on this? What do you guys, anything you think's cool? Would you like something like this? Would you hate something
That's a
like
neat item.
this?
I think it'd be a fun item. And labeling it as very rare is probably appropriate too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to stop you from, dying. That'll do it for our magic item, the Phoenix Rebirth Potion. Our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast is...
Ending a campaign.
A campaign doesn't need to go all the way to level 20. Ending at 5th or 15th can be just as satisfying. Whenever your story reaches its natural conclusion is really where you want to try to wrap it up. If you see the end approaching and the characters are getting close to one of those, main levels, the 5, 10, or 15th, or even maybe 20th, if you decide to go that far, consider stretching it out just enough to hit that top mark. That way you have a nice soft landing spot once you reach the climax, if they decide to take those characters again further some other time. This works best with the milestone method, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you can just say, okay, you beat the big baddie, poof, you're level 5 or level 10 or whatever. And it can be done with XP, but I feel like XP balancing is a little rougher to deal with and anticipate. But regardless of the level, though, make sure that you finish up any PC's personal goals before you close out a campaign, because that's what's really important to those players. You want to ensure that Jimmy manages to collect whatever artifact his family or he's been hunting down or something like that. And if you can tie it into the climax, that helps. But don't just make everyone's problems resolved around that single event. But if you have to go a little longer to make sure that happens, make sure you do that. But having a good stopping point and changing, I know that we're getting close to the end of the Storm King's Thunder right now, and I'm looking forward to doing Dragon Heist next. And I'll be honest, that is Storm King's Thunder is a very big book, and we skip probably half of it. There's just so much content. That means if I decide I want to go back and do it again, I can. And there's plenty of other routes to take to do it. So that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast, ending a campaign.
And
What?
Go ahead.
Our player tip of the podcast is...
Don't be a dick.
And you can avoid dickitude by by utilizing... Oh, fuck, that's a terrible title. Oh,
Protected concentration?
yes, protection. You can avoid dickitude by protected concentration. What I mean by that is a melee sword and board character utilizing the protection fighting style is a powerful tool alongside a spellcaster who is concentrating on a spell. If you don't know, the protection fighting style allows you to impose disadvantage on any attack made against that character when you expend your reaction. So things like Bane and Bless that the cleric is focusing on will less likely be disrupted if you as the sword and board fighter or paladin or whatever class you've got that has this feature is working right alongside of them.
Protect me, fighter. And why should I do that? Do you want to keep haste? Darn it!
And you can also utilize this for good team building, right? If the ranger is in melee along with the fighter with the sword and board, and they're concentrating on Hunter's Mark, right? That takes a spell slot. Rangers don't have a lot, so if you can help reduce them from taking damage and stop it from interrupting their spell casting, and interrupting whatever they're focusing on, is a huge benefit to the crew as a whole. So if you are considering a sword and board build, you don't want to just be a frontline fighter. Find a way to be that frontline fighter, but also use your skill to defend the person who's probably applying a powerful buff or debuff to the battlefield. What do you guys think about that? Do you have any other points on that?
I do think that is a fighting style that doesn't get enough love. But that said, too, though, they do place a few restrictions on it here and there that makes it harder to utilize.
Right.
So, see you, Tate.
See you later, Tate. Thanks for coming, man. Keep safe in the weather. Brandon?
I like the idea. I think it's very helpful. And which part was it that I just saw? Something about the cleric dealing... Here it is. Protecting a cleric who is concentrating on the Bane or Bless spell. These debuffs can last significantly longer if the cleric is drawn to melee combat. Does that mean if he's in melee combat or melee range, that makes those spells last longer?
No, if you get hit within a spell, you have to make or if you get hit while concentrating, you have a chance to lose the spell that you're concentrating on. So by being in melee with somebody who imposes disadvantage on somebody attacking the cleric, means they're less likely to hit them, which means it's not going to get disrupted.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm blocking you from taking the attack, basically. And that's really the point. If the cleric is off in a distance and you're the frontline sword and board guy and you see somebody charging towards him, run over there, and even if you have to take an op attack, it's much better for a stronger character to absorb an opportunity attack and be able to impose disadvantage on somebody attacking the cleric who's running, what'd you say, haste? Is that concentration?
Yeah.
Haste or bless or bane that's debuffing or buffing the party, because in the end, or even a druid with fairy fire, you have to weigh those in battle, and as a sword and board character, one of your most powerful features can be to make those spells last longer by making sure they don't get interrupted or broken. So...
Well, then, yeah, that's a good tactic.
Mm-hmm. Very good tactic.
All right, that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast, protected concentration.
And don't be a dick.
Oh, that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast. Don't be a dick. And you can avoid dickitude by protected concentration. Protect the concentrate. God, I didn't word that very good.
Protected concentration.
By protecting those who are concentrating on spells.
There we go.
Got
you know
it.
what? I like the DM's tip this week.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Because I like the idea of ending a campaign on a solid level. It helps players understand, okay, this is the end. Whereas if you end on, like, level 8 or something like that, somewhere in between, you're like, okay, is there going to be more? It makes you think straight back to Sword Art Online when Credo fights Heathcliff. And they haven't even reached the 100th level yet. Yeah. And like, okay, what's at the top fucking level? You guys can't just stop it right here. I was so mad.
You find out what's at the top level.
Yeah, in
the movie.
Yeah, in the movie. We had to wait for the movie.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. Yeah, you didn't see it?
No.
Oh, dude, it was really good.
Yeah.
They used augmented reality instead of full dive, which was pretty dope.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. They did. I was worried that they wouldn't be able to get the emotion back because death was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, they found a way to bring that emotion back into it. So.
Well, they definitely did that in season 2.
You seen a Sword Art Online alternate?
No, I didn't watch it.
Gale?
I didn't watch it at all.
I like that one, actually.
It's pretty good.
Oh, I'm watching Alicization right now, but
I mean, it mentions Kirito, but it never actually says his name, and it doesn't have any of the characters from before.
they just kind of talk about this
Oh, you mean the
legendary
spin-off?
swordsman. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was actually pretty good.
Oh, I'm watching
okay.
Umbrella Academy as your due to your recommendation, and I'm on like episode 4, and it's pretty dope.
That wasn't me.
Are you sure? I could have sworn you said it was really good.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, well, who the hell was it? Yeah, somebody else I was talking to online. I don't know. Anyways, that'll do it. That'll do it for our show today. Before we close out, we have one more gift to give away. Compliments of Jeff Stevens. Brandon, who's our winner today?
Our winner for Jeff Stevens' prize is Your Din H. I think it's supposed to be like Your Dinner, but I
Your
don't,
dinner?
I don't know.
Congratulations, your dinner. If you enjoyed the adventure, please let Jeff Stevens know. Leave him a review. Tell him what you like and what you didn't like. Savret loved Umbrella Academy.
No,
Just can't wait for season 2.
That's the worst part about having to wait.
Well, somebody told me there's something big about that's in the comic books regarding like the dad that isn't in the movie, and it kind of made me sad. Show, whatever. Who gives a fuck what word I use? Same shit.
Many people.
I don't give a fuck. That'll do it for our show today. Please join us on our next episode where we hear your feedback from you, our heroes. We will be discussing ancestral weapons, rules for building, scaling heirloom weapons. Early on in one of our episodes, we talked about evolving weapons. That's pretty much what these are. So stick around for that.
Neat.
Are you talking about the fact that the comic talks about the guy being a spoiler alert
Show.
in the comic book? Well, it's in the comic book. It's not in the movie. Okay. He doesn't want me to say it, so I won't. I'll watch for the hint. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that in the comic that's a pretty big thing. So, anyways, Brandon?
Yeah. If you have any feedback on our tips and tricks or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. I fucked that up. If you have any feedback on our tips and tricks or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at critacademy.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook at Crit Academy.
Ian?
Okay. We hope you enjoyed your
What?
Yeah, I can talk. We hoped you've enjoyed your experience here at Crit Academy, and if you did, you can help others find the show by leaving a hopefully 5-star review on iTunes or your platform of choice. Or just send us a message telling us how much you enjoy the show, and obviously that feedback does help us out.
Yeah, very
Really
much
does.
so.
It makes us feel better about ourselves.
That's
Also, be sure to give us a like and a share. If you would like to support the show, we have a Patreon at critacademy.com. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/critacademy, or you can click the link on our website at critacademy.com. You can pick a scale that you can help support the show in a monetary, monthly, reoccurring way and get get some little special rewards for doing so, such as enjoying our show live recordings as we record and kind of talk and chit chat with us like our patrons today. Brandon takes commissioned art. You can get full body color art and shoulder line art. Head on over to facebook.com and click on our, will you stop making noises? Brandon also does commission art, full body color art, and line art. You can find prices and examples over at our Facebook page at Crit Academy. Or you can buy some swag. Go to our website, click the shop button, buy a T-shirt with our name on it, a pillow, and you can go to bed with us every night. And our voices in the side inside your ear hole. Yes. Go to sleep.
Oh, that escalated quickly.
I'd love to do that. Just make a body pillow of all three of us and see how it gets sold.
We'll cut out a hole in Brandon's mouth. Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.
Fuck
Damn it. Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com so we can help you on your future adventures, as well as be entered to win cool prizes each and every single week. You'll also find links to our fellowship members there as well. If you've not checked out Interparty Conflict, those guys over there, Gabe and Jeff, do a fantastic job of answering your questions and bringing you the best tabletop experience possible. Also check out D&D Character Labs. Garen and Dan create very complex and intricate D&D characters every week and argue their validity in game, or argue over whose baby is better. And of course, we have our most recent podcast joiner. We have the Brute Force and Ignorance Actual Play podcast. Those guys do an awesome transatlantic D&D show, so definitely check them out. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'm your co-host, Ian. Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes. What?
Nothing.
Are you videotaping me for TikTok?
No.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. Join us next week, same time, same bat channel, I guess. Right?
Yep.
That the line.
Yep.
It was good
Lawsuit.
seeing you. We crop that out. It was good seeing you, Savret, for our patron pals. I definitely think I am going to try to put together a D&D adventure this month for the players to play as monsters. So we'll see how that goes. I got to figure out how I'm going to get them stat blocks without them having the actual book, but I'll worry about that later. We're done early today.
Yep.
Are we really?
Yep.
It's an hour and a half.
Yep.
That's not early.
Yep.
Whatever. All right. Wave to the camera.
Bye.
Savret, it was good seeing you. Bye-bye.